They called it the King of the Hill when it first came out. Is it still the king? The ZR1 version of the Chevrolet Corvette has always stood for power and performance, but this second generation ZR1 from 1991 boasts a few notable features not shared by any Corvette before it or since the end of its production in 1995. Initially, the ZR1 package was installed on the 1970 through 1972 LT1 350 small block Corvettes, and it added performance suspension and brakes, beefed up cooling, and other parts to make the Corvette perform better on a racetrack. By the mid-1980s, Chevrolet developed the goal of creating the fastest production car in the world, and they resurrected the ZR1 name for the production version. Nicknamed the King of the Hill Corvette, the ZR1 would take a high-tech approach to achieve this goal. Around that time, GM had added the racing operation Group Lotus to the list of companies under the GM umbrella. Chevrolet relied heavily on their expertise to assist in the development of the ZR1, and Lotus brought some innovative ideas to the table. First up was the development of the LT5 V8 engine. If this ZR1 was to be fast, it needed power under the hood, and Lotus saw the potential in taking the legendary Chevrolet small block V8 to the next level through the use of overhead camshafts and 4 valves per cylinder. This generation of ZR1 Corvette came out in 1990, and I vividly remember all of the hype in the magazines about the power level of the new King of the Hill Corvette. And when these things finally hit the streets, they made an advertised 375 horsepower from the new LT5 engine, and they did it without pushrods. Now, since day one, the Corvette has been a pushrod V8 with 1 cam and 2 valves per cylinder, and it still is today. However, the limited production ZR1 was a great test bed for the technology, which had been used in smaller displacement engines for decades. The result is an aluminum block still displacing 5.7 liters or 350 cubic inches, but that twisted up 375 horsepower compared with the 250 horse standard L98 pushrod 350. And Lotus didn't stop there. They revamped the engine management system for better performance and efficiency, and retuned the suspension for better high-speed track performance. You know, 375 horsepower doesn't sound like that much today, but back in the landscape in 1991, this thing was an animal. And the performance still stands up. These cars are capable of 0 to 60 in like 4.4 seconds with a top speed north of 180. Chevy was happy with the design, but didn't have the in-house capabilities to produce them right away, so they relied on Mercury Marine to build the LT5 V8 for the production engines. So now we have an American icon sports car featuring a new engine designed from a British firm, using non-traditional Corvette architecture and an outsource for engine assembly. Yeah, the ZR1 definitely did not follow the standard Corvette arc of development. But the efforts paid off, as the second-gen ZR1 proved to be wickedly fast, and the LT5 demonstrated exceptional reliability. The Z set numerous speed and durability records along the way, like the 24 hours endurance run at 175.885 miles per hour for over 4,200 miles straight, setting a world record. Sophisticated speedy cars like this don't come cheap, and the ZR1 stickered about double what a base Corvette did in '91, helping to keep the production numbers and the sales down. Overall, just shy of 7,000 ZR1s of C4 generation Corvettes were sold between 1990 and 1995. Another factor that helped keep the ZR1 a secret was the fact that the car didn't really stand out from a regular Corvette. The first ones had flared rear quarters and a bulging tail section, design cues that Chevrolet adapted to all Corvettes for '91. So aside from the bigger rear tires and ZR1 badging, you really couldn't tell the car was twice as bad as a standard Corvette. And what supercar driver wants their ride to blend in with the other regular rides? But this was the early 90s, and the theme was monochromatic colors with black rubber and black plastic trim and minimal flash. The 1991 ZR1 was jammed with features like power seats, power windows, power door locks, power steering, brakes, premium audio, AC, and the list goes on and on and on. The ZR1 had a ZF 6-speed manual transmission for front gears and a Dana rear end housing stuffed with hardened 345 gears in the rear. Tires were huge for the day, 275 40-17s up front and steamroller 315 35-17s in the rear. The teal green was very popular in '91, and the car still looks fresh today, as it's only showing 3,500 miles on the odometer, which is less than a round trip from New York to LA. It's the only overhead cam Corvette produced, and as a nearly new example, it has a rightful place amongst the other pinnacle Corvettes here in the Brothers collection. Although it's easy to overlook, this little ZR1 badge is your only indicator that this could be far more of a car than you're expecting. So you were warned. And if you like this kind of stuff, we invite you to come by our website at MuscleCarOfTheWeek.com because we have a whole bunch more videos of Corvettes and other muscle cars from the Brothers collection. So would you drive the King of the Hill? Share your comments on our Facebook page or YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time on Muscle Car of the Week.